Onunu Comics presents IKWERRE Ninja, The Ghost of the City, Issue 2, Vivid Dreams Part 2. Bekwele's residence, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. The date is August 22nd, 2022. Bekwele stands on his balcony, thinking and pondering about what just happened between him and Chocho the previous day. He struggles to reconcile his failure to defeat Chocho, especially with the fact that he is haunted by images and dreams of Chocho murdering his parents. The flashbacks felt so real, like he was living them, and he had been living this way for a very long time. Master Nunu had always been a father figure to him. He tried to explain to him about how things were, and tried to explain to him that one day everything would be fine. But as usual, from a child's perspective, Bekwele couldn't understand why they'd have the ability to time travel. But yet, they wouldn't just go back and try to readjust things. They wouldn't go back to prevent Bekwele's parents from being murdered. Master Nunu tried to explain to him that it was impossible for Chronicle ninjas to travel to events that relate to themselves in any way. Bekwele couldn't understand it, but Master Nunu assured him that someday he would. The most beautiful thing about Bekwele's life presently was Tammy. You see, Tammy was a member of staff of Onunu Enterprises. Somehow, Bekwele and her had developed a deep connection, an intimate relationship. Although this kind of relationship between a civilian and a protector ninja was forbidden by the Council of Balance, Bekwele found out that Tammy was one person that helped him find balance, that helped him make sense of the world around him, and for this reason, he kept his relationship with her secret. He let her know everything about him, and that is everything about the Council of Balance, the Protector Ninjas, the Oppressor Ninjas, everything. It was difficult for her to come to terms with the dangerous lifestyle that he led, but he always reassured her that everything will be fine, that he would always return to her. Ugep, Cross River State, Nigeria. The date is August 23rd, 2022. Ugep is a quiet village in eastern Nigeria, the perfect place for anyone looking for peace and solitude. Especially if you were the kind of person who didn't want to be found. But the truth is, no matter how hard they tried to deny it, some people were not built for the quiet life. No matter how calm they look, these people are a walking mound of violence and aggression. The sort of people for whom the phrase, "let sleeping dogs lie," was created. The interesting thing about life is that some people just did not know how to let sleeping dogs lie. Kazuchi was not just a sleeping dog, he actually was a sleeping lion. And these two villagers were about to find out. They'd been looking for ways to get his attention, to extort him. Today, they were gonna find out. They picked on the wrong person. In no time, the brawl began. And I'm sure it took just a matter of seconds for these guys to realize that they had made a mistake. Although he was being soft on them, Kazuchi had actually broken a few bones in their bodies. He was an IKWERRE ninja of the Oppressor Ninja clan. Despite the fact that he had chosen a peaceful life, the quest for blood still raged deep within his soul. There was only one thing, one person who could control him: Taylor. You see, Taylor was also an IKWERRE ninja, but of the Protector Ninja clan. She fell in love with Kazuchi under very, very interesting circumstances. Their love was something that was frowned upon by the Protector Ninjas and forbidden by the Oppressor Ninjas. For this reason, they both had to defect from their respective clans. Such defection was termed going rogue. This simply meant that they would go off the grid, leave in hiding from the Protector Ninjas and the Oppressor Ninjas. The truth is, they really didn't have much to worry about with the Protector Ninjas because the Protector Ninjas represented order and peace. Their main trouble would be with the Oppressor Ninjas because these guys were going to hunt them and kill them. By fighting with these villagers, Kazuchi had exposed them. And for this reason, they would have to leave Ugep and find another safe hiding ground. Meanwhile, back in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, at about 11:20 p.m. on the 23rd of August 2022, Bekwele had resumed his acts of crime fighting in the city of Port Harcourt. You see, the Protector Ninjas and the Oppressor Ninjas, who constitute the Council of Balance, were meant to be in the shadows. Despite the fact that they regulated and influenced everything that happened on the planet, they were meant to do it unseen, as though it didn't exist. The whole superhero move that Bekwele had decided to pull was not within the books, but somehow he had managed to convince them that it was the right thing to do. Since they represented order, it was the right thing to bring order to the lawless streets of Port Harcourt. But Bekwele also knew on the inside that this was just another way to channel the negative energy he had, the negative energy of the trauma that he felt from losing his parents to violence all these years. He decided to take it out on all the violent street gang members that he could find. He decided to use fear as his tool to control them, to regulate them, to keep them in line. And this was why he would always teleport after beating them up, and he would let them see him teleport. This move earned him the name the Ghost of the City, because it was typical in African communities that when they did not understand a phenomena, they would attribute it to something spiritual, diabolical, or metaphysical. They never or rarely considered it from the perspective of physical science or technology. Bekwele was counting on this. He wanted everyone to fear him. He wanted even the police to fear him. Over the years, he had thwarted a few crimes, and by doing so, he had found favor with a few members of the public, even with a few members of the police, but definitely not with Inspector Ade. You see, Inspector Ade was a top-notch police officer. Everything had to be done by the books, and in his books, what Bekwele was doing was vigilante justice, and Inspector Ade frowned at it wholeheartedly. Although Bekwele's moves reduced crimes greatly in the city, it didn't completely stop it. There were still bits and bobs of robberies and kidnappings every now and again. Some of them were actually staged by the Oppressor Ninjas to find Bekwele. They had caught wind of the fact that Bekwele was playing vigilante in the city of Port Harcourt, so they would set these elaborate traps to catch him. Traps that involved staged robberies, of which both the victim and the oppressor were both Oppressor Ninjas. These traps were so elaborately and so perfectly made that the last time they actually caught him. Bekwele knew that he had to be extremely cautious about these things, but the truth was, deep inside, he had a deep desire to ensure that the innocent people were not harmed. It was worth the risk to him. the risk of being detected and found by Chocho. His IKWERRE ninja suit was very technologically advanced. It enabled him to do very superhuman things. He was practically invulnerable, bulletproof, superhuman. It was all advanced science and technology, you see. Advanced technology from 200 years into the future. But the average African in the 21st century was unaware of this. To them, this was another spiritual being. And boy, did Bekwele use it against them. No matter the caliber of bullets that they would use, Bekwele was completely invulnerable to them. His IKWERRE ninja suit produced a force field that would stop any kind of trajectory, even bazookas. His superior combat training, as well as the capability of the suit that lets him jump and even fly, was definitely no match for these street thugs. They were afraid of him, very afraid of him, and of course with good reason. But the sad thing about this incident was that it was just another trap. Chocho had found him again. Thank you for watching, guys, and do stay tuned for the next issue, Vivid Dreams Part 3, where Bekwele is forced to face his fears. The question is, will he defeat Chocho this time? Find out in the next exciting episode of IKWERRE Ninja, the Ghost of the City. And don't forget, guys, you can always shop and buy everything that you want and have it delivered straight to your doorstep. onunumarket.com, that's a place to be. Go shopping, guys, and remember, if you want it, we got it.